Brought to you by Hallow, the world's #1 prayer app.
My knee-jerk reflex, even if there's like, oh, I could tell my wife's been in this room, I'm just like, ugh, my wife's been here. Like, and I hate that about myself.
Why don't you like her? What's up, Tyler?
So my question is, my wife and I, we've been married for 18 years. We've got 4 amazing kiddos, and I love her very much. I want to take good care of her and want the best for her. But in the past 7 years, I've really lost that loving feeling to the point where I don't really enjoy spending time with her. I'm not comfortable in a room with her, especially alone. In big groups, it's not such a big deal, but and it's gotten kind of to the point where it's kind of my knee-jerk reflex. Even if there's like, oh, I could tell my wife's been in this room, I'm just like, ugh, my wife's been here. Like, and I hate that about myself.
Why don't you like her?
My question is,
why don't you like her? It's not the love and feeling. You don't like her. Why don't you like her? Why aren't y'all friends? You just got to be honest. You got to be honest. You're already in it now. You got to be honest. Why aren't you friends?
Yeah. I don't like the way she treats me. I don't like.
Tell me about that.
She's gotten a lot better.
Stop hedging. Stop hedging. Just tell me the truth.
She's not nice to me. She calls me names. She is full of insults. And I think it betrays how she really feels about me. Just in the course of conversation, like a couple of years ago, I was like, "Hey, I'm self-employed. I think it's time to hire somebody. I think I need to hire somebody." And her response isn't, "Oh, is the business growing?" No, it's, "Oh, you're so lazy. Is this work beneath you? You just can't do it yourself." I'm like, no, I think this is, but it just cuts me really deeply that's how she sees me. And if I really felt like I was a lazy person, I'd be like, oh, that's a fair assessment. But I just feel like my wife should be able to tell me that in a way that's loving and encouraging and not scathing like that.
The thing that is the defining characteristics of marriages that make it are, at the end of the day, they're friends. And what I would tell you is right now, and I'm just going to, can I just have your permission just to be pretty blunt? Is that cool?
I mean, if you must.
Okay. Your wife's like not a good friend. How long has this been going on? Oh,
we have a long history. There's a good deal of trauma in there too.
What does that mean?
So we met in college through the college Christian group. I was pretty immature and uncertain about my theology. We were trying to stay when we became romantically involved. We were trying to stay pure before marriage and all that. And she literally, for starters, we kind of divulged our sexual history too soon. And then I felt like I couldn't break up with her, because then it would seem like it was because I was upset about her sexual past or whatever. And then it was like she was auditioning to be my wife. It was like she couldn't keep her hands off me. This came up in like a marriage counseling thing that my jaw hit the floor when she said this several years ago. She said she had sexually assaulted me in one of our dorm rooms. I remember, and this is I don't know, this makes I feel crazy. I remember being really, really mad at her after the fact. And I remember thinking, like, no one is going to believe me.
Okay.
And I remember, this is the wild thing. I remember being so mad at her, but not remembering what I was mad about. And I went to one of the leaders in the Christian group, And he said that I needed to forgive her, and that means that I should act like it didn't happen.
Well, that guy, hey, hold on, stop. That guy sucks.
Yes, I understand that now.
That guy's, so for people listening who don't have a faith background, what we're talking about here is somebody who established sexual intimacy boundaries. And the other party, I don't care which gender's which, crashed through them. And it's common to not remember details right away. It's common to have overwhelming sensations of emotions, whether it's rage or anger. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's intense love, which is the fight, flight, or fawn. I mean, your body responds how it responds. But then you went and sat with a mentor and said, hey, this just happened. And they said, well, shake it off, dude. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, another instance happened later, and I do remember that one. But in the aftermath of that, I remember I was so just furious, and I couldn't eat or sleep for several days.
What was it? Were you mad at her, or were you mad that you'd had this? You didn't want to have sex with anybody till you got married. Were you mad that you thought God was going to strike you with a lightning bolt? Like, what were you? What was the rage that you said stop and she didn't?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I felt like I couldn't. I mean, obviously, I could have overpowered her and gotten out of that situation, but where would that have gotten me? But I told myself, hey, this will be great. If we get married, it means that she's super into me, and we're gonna have all this wheels off sex, right? As I've heard it said. But then, moving ahead, we eventually get married, and she became a completely different person as soon as we got married. Just fits of rage. Just she would just fly off the handle at nothing at all. And I'm like, hey, what's really bothering you? Oh, you put the pot in the wrong sink. What's the matter? Like, how could you and I'm like, that's not really the issue. Like, yes, it is. You're an idiot. And it just, okay. And that went on for about 3 years. And we went through 3 different marriage counselors who all kind of shrugged and said they didn't know what to do. The third marriage counselor said, let me see her one-on-one for a while. And that started to help. Our church was not helpful. They were basically, the thrust of it was, if the husband is the head of the household, the wife is the weaker vessel, and if my wife is having a hard time, it's my burden to shoulder, and I need to figure this out and make her happy. So I had to just do just let her have whatever she wanted. You want to live in this kind of house? Whatever she wanted was what I had to do and accommodate.
God, you've gotten the worst faith integrated life advice ever.
Yeah, I would say so.
Golly, dude. I'm sorry, man. I hate it for you. I hate it. So do me a favor. Bring me to right now.
Okay, so
hold on. Let me hop in here. You have a woman since you were dating, has a complete and total disregard for the person in front of her, which happens to be you. And when you've sought help every step along the way, people have said, either trained, licensed professionals have said, I don't know, man. Or they've given you horrific wisdom.
Well, not all of them were licensed, but yeah.
which I wasn't going to go there. I was trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, but often Christian counselors are the worst. They're the worst. The reality is, where do you find yourself right now? Because as painful as this is for me to say, having my own history of having to go through some hard stuff, we're here right now. And the only thing we can change is what happens next.
I tried to have breakfast, do the breakfast thing. There's this mental health podcast I'm addicted to.
Yes.
Which is another call. Hopefully I can quit that. But
no, that's what's one good addiction to always keep. Always keep that one.
so I was like, hey, I've been listening to this show. He's got some good ideas. And what if we have like sit down and have breakfast and really iron out? And she couldn't hear anything I said after that. She just started crying. She's like, oh my gosh, you want to divorce me? Like it just became this thing. And I was like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I should have softened my startup, or like, maybe like, I didn't think that was aggressive. And I'm like, look, it seems like you're off the rails right now. Maybe we can try to have this conversation later. But yeah, I would love to be married to someone that I could, talk about, hey, let's go get breakfast, and not have her just blow up at me. That would be nice.
You're with somebody that does not sound psychologically stable, Tyler. If she is, she's a powerfully manipulative, emotionally painful person to be in the room with. The benefit of the doubt is she's struggling with some pretty deep, significant issues that she needs some clinical help with.
She'll probably always be unstable, but she's matured a lot in 18 years, and she's made changes, and she doesn't fly off the handle as often, and doesn't call me names almost, nearly as often.
Can you be her friend?
I think so.
She won't even go to breakfast with you, Tyler.
We did go to breakfast. We kept the conversation superficial.
That's not friendship. That's job interview. Friendship is not getting bit. That's avoidance. Friendship is, can I tell you all the good stuff, the amazing stuff? Can I tell you the bad stuff? And can I tell you the really dark stuff? Can you see all of me and still say, I love you? I'm in. You can't even hire an employee of your own business without being called less than, without some sort of character attack.
Yeah.
I don't doubt she's worked really hard. That's amazing. What I hear you telling me is it was so bad that this is better than. I'll accept that. I trust you on that.
Yeah. So how do we move forward? I want to get out of that past. I want to own it and change my future.
I think you have to ask yourself, what do I actually want? And then you have to be clear about what that's going to look like. If you scream at me again, if you belittle me again, if you hit me again, if you take our money and buy stuff that we haven't agreed on again, if you are otherwise a person who lacks fidelity and integrity in this relationship, then you are opting out of being married to me. Then you, Tyler, have to make peace. If you have forgiven somebody, replaying it over and over and over and over is a choice to drag the past into the present.
Yeah.
And that's not fair either. If she's somebody who's working hard and working hard and working hard, and every time she starts to get ahead, you bring up the past and hit her over the side of the head with it.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person.
But also,
I just get really twitchy.
Yeah, you got to deal with your trauma, and you haven't dealt with it yet. It will find a way out. It's probably your body working exactly it was designed to keep you safe, and you still have a snapping turtle in your living room that's bitten you and bitten you and bitten you and bitten you. Emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, physically, sexually. And you're still trying to figure out, there's not a thing you can say, not a thing you can do. You've said everything you need to say, and you've done everything you need to do. The next move is you looking in the mirror with a professional licensed counselor that you trust, saying, okay, how do I begin to solve for peace and safety in my life? What must be true for the life I want to build? And you start solving for that question. And when you have some security there, you invite your wife in and say, okay, here's what this is going to look like. We're not going for she only hurts me or hits me or violates me or flies off the handle every once in a while now. We're looking for none of that. What must be true for me to be safe in my own house? And I know if it's happening to you, it's happening to the kids too. What must be true for you to get off your phone for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time? What must be true for us to become friends? We've never been friends. Download the Hallow app today and get 3 free months at hallow.com/Delony.